Hi guys, happy Monday. Alright, so how is everybody? Did you guys have a good weekend, hopefully? Everybody in New Orleans, oh my god. I just kind of, last night I woke up, I don't know how many times, I couldn't even sleep, it was weird, it was just like there was something bugging me. It was like some kind of universal, I don't know, it just felt like something coming down from source energy. It just kept channeling and funneling through me, and I couldn't sleep. It was too much. It was like, oh my god, it felt like my body was contorting in all these different ways, and it just very strange. But I guess maybe I don't know what that was. So do you guys experience anything like that? It's weird. It's really weird. I mean, I don't know what's going on. There's this paradigm shift people are talking about. I really liked what Andrea Perron was talking about. How everybody, we're evolving, we're spiritually, going forward, but it's not a physical, point A to point B, C, D, E. It's not like that. It's just, it's all happening at once, everything is one. So it was just really weird, and just, like, these seconds of, like, kind of like the pressure changes, and if you guys have read House of Darkness, House of Light, the first volume, you will understand what the bubble is. It's where you experience, like, you are in this, like, I don't know if it's a portal. I don't know what a portal is. I mean, I kind of do, but I've never, I honestly, live on one. So it, cleverly, honestly, not to take the words from the book, but cleverly disguised as a farmhouse. So, I mean, it's just so weird. But, the bubble effect is when we actually, feel it's like, almost kind of like we step into a different, there's no time. All senses are heightened to, like, an extremely potent, insanely, they're just heightened to that extent, to an extent of, that much, and it just feels like, the pressure in your ears, and, you start to hear, like, sound is distorted and warped, and you feel tingly, and you feel like, just, like, weird. That's a really weird feeling. It's a really weird feeling to feel that, and so I don't know what's going on. I don't know what, if it's just this place, because the only time I experience that is here. So it's like, you step into like a different reality for a couple minutes, and, it's like a burst or a download of information. It's like, whoosh, and it's images, quick images. And then you come back to, normal reality, and it's like, what happened? It's just very strange, and I don't know what's going on. So, has anybody ever experienced anything like that? I hope I'm not the only one. Anyways, on that note, I did find this. I opened this up to other realms and other realities. So, maybe all the realities are merging together. I don't know. I'm not a quantum physicist. I'm not a physicist. I'm not a scientist. I'm none of that. So, here we go. Now, other realms and other realities, which is really interesting because of what I've just spoken of. So, now, in this chapter, we examine what other traces can be found of other worlds and supernatural beings in the fragments of Cornish rhymes, stories, myths, and other legends. So this is, we're going to get some good, good truth. There's a core of truth in each myth, each legend. So we're going to get one out of each one. Now, one story tells of a roach rock, a rocky outcrop standing some 20 meters, which is 66 feet. I don't know how I knew that. High north of St. Austell, on the top of this outcrop, is dramatically perched the ruins of a chapel dedicated to St. Michael. So that's really interesting. That'd be beautiful to see. Now, in the Tristan and the Iseult legend, the lovers go there to visit the hermit Ogren, not Origin, Ogren. So, who dwelt in the chapel on the rock. So there was an archaeological excavation some years ago at nearby a farm, which uncovered some pits with deposits, and it has been suggested that these were the result of ritualistic activity associated with seasonal gatherings close to, I think it's Rocher Rock. So, I mean, that's really interesting. I mean, the archaeological evidence backing this up, it's really interesting. Now, the author of the report of the excavations suggested that the Rocher Rock was venerated by people at the dwelling place of the spirits or gods and goddesses, who dwelt within the rock. So we have that going for us. So the animism, and believe that people are likely to have regarded the landscape as being the creation of such spirits, gods, or ancestors. So that's really interesting. That's a really interesting concept. So they suggest that stories, myths, and legends would have grown up around such landscape features, and that places like Rocher Rock may have been gateways for communication with other worlds. Places such as Rocher Rock was perceived as a powerful liminal points where spirits or beings from other worlds could affect the lives and well-being of the community. So evidently, okay, so that's kind of leading me up to my little conclusion about this house, and about, how it's just, it's everything can come and go. Anything comes and goes. So the site has evidently a long history of sanctity attached to it, from the Neolithic right down to the Christian era. And one particular legend has a resonance of that sanctity. This legend tells of how one dweller of the chapel on the rock was a leper, who had a daughter called Gunred. Okay, what an interesting name. Who has given her name to a holy well that lies about a mile to the north of that rock in a chasm in a deep wooded glade. Now, Gundred fetched food and water from the well to take her leper father on the rock. So this legend seems to make a deliberate link between the depths of the earth and the heights of the rock. Now, Gundred may thus be seen as an aspect of the earth goddess dwelling in the dank, elemental place on earth, but traveling from the underworld to the higher upper world of Rocher Rock. His realm was a world of masculine energies, with a St. Michael Chapel dedication. Hers, the world of the inner female watery realms of the source of life. So maybe that's what's going on in here. I don't know. I don't know if the spirits are becoming balanced here or not. It just seems like everything, the smallest stuff that we do, it upsets some of them. Some of them are triggered by, arguments, and then some of them love the arguments. They thrive on the arguments, and then a lot of them just want peace. So, it's like, almost like, this weekend there's a few arguments that happened, and it's almost like the spirits in this house, on this land, have literally dissipated or mitigated, a negative situation, an argument, and made it go away. So it's like, wow, I'm opening up more to my house and to the land, and it's just insane. So, now, many high places which have originally been sacred to pagans, later under Christianity, obviously became dedicated to St. Michael. Now, as we have seen in earlier times, Tor enclosures which surround high cairns on the moors in Cornwall, dating originally from the Neolithic period, such as Rothor and Brownwilly on Bodmin Moor, Helmentor, Carn Bray, and in West Penwith, Carn Gulba and Carn Kendajak. So were thought of as the dwelling places of the gods and goddesses and the ancestors. So it's really interesting. I'm trying to figure out where this energy comes from on this land, because I don't know. I can't pinpoint it at all. A lot of it happens in the north. So a lot of it's going on in the north. I don't know what that is. I don't know what's coming, because it goes from north literally to south. It feels like this is a highway right in here. It literally feels like a friggin' highway. So anyways, now these places become sacred in the minds of the later Bronze Age and Iron Age peoples, and then when Christianity arrived on the shores, they were rededicated to St. Michael. Now perhaps Cornwall's most famous St. Michael site is St. Michael's Mount, which is beautiful. But pretty much every Christian church or Christian organization that they build up and erect is on a previously pagan site. So, now an island as high tide, and that lies off the coast at Marazion in West Cornwall. So, as we've seen, its original name was Din Sol, indicating that it was dedicated to a sun god or goddess. Now, it claimed that St. Michael appeared to local fishermen on the Mount in the 5th century, and it has strong links with another religious foundation, Mont St. Michael in France. Now, which has the same title, island characteristics, and the same conical shape. Conical. Sorry, I'm thinking of the witch's hat. Conical. So, yeah, that's just strange. Now, historically, St. Michael's Mount was given to the Benedictines, the religious order of Mont St. Michael in Normandy by Edward the Confessor in the 11th century. So even today it continues to attract seekers and pilgrims. And it is the one place in the world where the 4 great energy lines identified by Dowser Hamish Miller as the Michael and Mary and Apollo and Athena lines all meet and cross. I think that is amazing. The ley lines are amazing. Spirit lines, ghost roads, whatever you want to call them, they are so incredible and so fun. I just defined. My dad actually taught me how to find them. I'll tell you that in a minute. So now these lines cross Britain and Europe and link together places of great sanctity and spiritual significance. So people have always been drawn to such places, and many of them can trace a continuity from the present too long ago in the past. And there are so many people, there are so much places in Cornwall alone that it would take several more books to tell stories of all of them. So I do believe that. Now, but here in this book, we have been focusing on the places and people, and those stories and legends that tell of encounters between this world and the other world, as we have seen throughout this book. So the traces of these are so often hidden in the old legends, stories, and myths. So that's why we have to, go into the mythology and the stories and everything. My phone didn't even light up. Weird. Anyway. So to finish with, let us take a look at a seemingly innocuous Cornish rhyme that may have a deeper significance, not immediately apparent. And I love this. So, Seesaw, Marjorie draw, sold her bed and lay on straw. Sold her bed and lay upon hay, and Pisky came and carried her away. Alright, so we have some stuff going on there with the Piskies. Okay, so who was Marjorie Daw? And what can this seemingly nonsensical rhyme mean? So there is a well on Carn Marth near Lanner that is known as Marjorie the Daw's or Figgy Dowdy's well. Other Cornish folktales refer, as we have seen, that's interesting, to Madge, Friggy, or the Dowdy. So all these may in fact be the same person who is really a Cornish harvest and fertility. So that's really interesting. Goddess, closely related to identical with bride, or otherwise known as Bridget or Brigid. So now Brigid was a Celtic goddess, obviously responsible for the fertility of the land. In Scotland, she was represented by a sheath of corn on her festival of Imbolc, February 1st, and was carried from house to house before being placed in a bed made of straw of hay overnight. I like this. So yes, this is the the corn dolly that you place in the basket, and then it's literally kind of plowed back into the earth later on for better crops and good harvest. Now, the production of the food, the fertility of the land, and the fecundity of Mother Nature were all the key functions of Bridget. Now, and they underlined the traditions associated with her day. Now, the figure fashioned from the corn was decorated with ribbons, shells, spring flowers, and stones, and gifts of the earth and sea. Her spirit was in the figure, and she was addressed and evoked as a real being. So I do feel, that I've done this. I still have one of my corn dollies. And yeah, I totally agree. But yeah, it's really interesting. So figures represent a vegetation spirit, or corn mother. Yeah, there we go. Were traditionally thrown into water and in spring in many places to ensure the fertility of the land, and this custom appears to have its Cornish counterpart. So it is recorded that the children took their dolls to be baptized at Figgy Dowdy's well on Good Friday. Now dolls were also taken to Fenton Babel well for the same purpose on the same date. Now the name Fenton Babybel means well of the little people, so the fairy folk. Although this date is not in bulk, nevertheless the custom may have been transferred to the nearest Christian date once the significance of Imbolc or Candlemas diminished. So there may also be a connection between the Good Friday customs and fertility rites, because in Cornwall, Good Friday is traditionally the best day to sow seeds it was thought that on this day they would all grow. So it's very interesting. So now originally Easter was the same time as the spring equinox, which Easter's not pagan, so a lot of people got really mad at me for that. Easter is not pagan, it's Christian. It's very Christian, it's very new. So, which was traditionally celebrated on March 25th, now known as Lady Day. Now, this was regarded as the start of the year in medieval times, and there are many other traditions or festivals at wells and on hills linking Easter with the fertility of the land and rebirth of a vegetation deity. Now, corn dollies, which I love, were also involved in fertility rituals at other times of the year. In some places, they were called May dolls or May babies. Yeah, I love that. I love that, corn dollies. And carried from house to house on May Day. Now, a Mother Earth corn figure would be about 4 feet high. Wow, that'd be beautiful. It was part of their harvest tradition, but also carried around the field to awaken the newly sown seed. Or a version of the Marjorie Daw rhyme ends with, "She sold her straw and lay in smut. Wasn't she a dirty slut?" I love that. Which may be a memory of the custom of taking the corn mother from her bed of straw and plowing her into the field to help ensure the fertility of the land. So there we go, yeah. Fertility of the land again. Wow. What a rhyme. So the tradition of baptizing dolls in the wells on Carn Marth and Fenton Bibble may therefore be a replacement of a fertility ritual possibly originating at the spring equinox to ensure that the harvest goddess made the crops grow well. Now the corn mother was probably plowed into the fields, or grain from it was scattered onto them after being blessed at the well. So that's really interesting, and I like that. Now finally the names Marjorie, Daw, Madge, Figgy, and Figgydowdy may be derived from ancient Cornish names for this goddess. Andy Norfolk points out that Medj means to reap or mow. Medegri means a reaper. Da means good. Drew or Druze means god or goddess. And what is that? Filth means Sith. So Marjorie Daw may be either the good reaper or the reaper goddess. Maid Figgy could be the harvest Sith, and Figgydowdy the good goddess or god of the Sith. That's a tongue twister. That's interesting. Now, in simple children's nursery rhymes, lies a world where people were deeply connected to the gods and goddesses of the season's sound. So, and where it was part of it was actually part of their everyday life to honor them and perform ceremony and ritual for them. All around us in Cornwall, all the traces of when the people of this land did truly live between the realms. So that's a really interesting concept. It's a really, really interesting concept. Dang it, there's no pictures. But I think that's just really interesting. That is really interesting. Just how in tune we are becoming with other realms, other realities. You know, there's no veil, there's no veil that exists, people. Like on Halloween, people are waiting for Halloween because the veil is thin. What does that mean? It doesn't mean anything. The veil is always, there's no veil. It's just our minds cannot conceive or perceive or, can understand, that there is, multitudes of realities and universes here, right here. So I mean, I've said that before, but I think it's wild. It's mind-blowing. So I don't know. But that does make a little bit of sense for the different realities and everything, and trying to me talking about earlier in the video, stepping into what felt like a portal. I don't know, and it kind of everything's heightened, and you just feel like, I don't know, it's just weird. Warped sound is weird. It's like a burst or a download of information, and then it goes away and you feel fine. A little tired, a little funky. You gotta kind of it's like you're coming back from like a different consciousness. So it's kind of it shakes you just a tiny bit. But what do you guys think? What do you guys honestly think? I want to know. I'm very curious, because this place is just, it's getting crazy here. These spheres are very active. They're getting more active. So I don't know what's going on. I don't know if they're active. I don't know if they're happy about what's going on with the renovations. So, I mean, who knows? Who knows? I don't anymore. But, alright guys, I have some stuff to do, so I will see you all tomorrow. I love you guys. Thank you guys for all your comments. I was reading them last night, and yes, I love you all, so I will do a comment day. So please just be safe, stay healthy. I love you guys with all my heart. All the way from Venus, all the way back down. And I will see you guys tomorrow, so please just be safe. Stay healthy for me. Don't go nowhere. Don't be peacing out on me. That freaked me out. So I love you guys very much, and thank you guys for watching.